Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. What could explode silver prices or cause them to explode? This is what we're going to be discussing in today's video because there are several different things knocking on the door of precious metals that easily could boost it or give it momentum into higher prices. And today we're going to be talking not only about these things, but also to what extent do each one of these situations have, or have on the front burner. For example, the US-China trade wars, alongside with stock markets becoming more volatile, shot silver over $20, or almost, around the $19 range a couple months ago. So if we see something like that, which, U.S.-China trade wars was a very, it was a very interesting thing that caused a lot of chaos and controversy. But also, alongside with the stocks, which one of those had the bigger force or the upper hand in causing prices to rise, and to what extent? But that's just an example. We're going to go a lot deeper in today's video. So before we start, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. I am so excited to get my channel back. It feels so dang good to just have my channel back and be reconnecting with you guys. I hope all of you guys and gals are excited to be enjoying my content as well, because man, it does feel good. I have a lot of interesting videos. I wanted to start it off today with this video because this is something I think about a lot. It's something on the top of my mind, because one would think supply and demand is the biggest motivating force behind prices. Low supply, high demand shoots the price up, right? You would think that's what would be the, have the upper hand. It would trump everything. But we see silver shortages across the board, and see, now, as I'm talking, I'm thinking of new circumstances. I guess this would be time. The time frame is also extremely important that I never really thought about before, because supply and demand is a much slower approach to precious metals prices rising. See, something like U.S.-China trade wars, the coronavirus, the Hong Kong protests, stock market volatility, that's all instantaneous, right? That's all very instant, and that's what people feed off of, that instant gratification, that instant, that instance where you can make a decision, a fast, impulsive decision, which is most times, 9 times out of 10, going to be a bad decision. Because if you're impulse buying or panic selling, you're doing it out of emotions instead of out of your senses, out of your conscience, out of your rational thinking. Irrational thoughts happen when you're doing it impulsively. So I'm not talking, this isn't a video about panic selling though. This is, but that's a really prime example though. See, the supply and demand has been happening over the last 7 years. Over the last 7 years, Mexico, Peru, Chile, China, Australia have all been abandoning silver mines. So we know this. I've talked about this several times. I'm sure you guys know this. And to the hundreds of millions of ounces, right? And this is not only put us back 7 years in the hole, but basically 14 years in the hole. Because not only do we have to go back 7 years ago just to break even from today, but that's also 7 years of catching up we have to do. So we're basically 14 years behind on silver produce. And as demand is skyrocketing, as price rises, you can see where this is going to become a huge thing. But see, we're 14 years in the hole, so this could be something that doesn't really start playing into the field for a couple more years. Whereas the 2020 presidential election is something instantaneous, which could easily affect prices now. So I guess the whole gist of this is each one of these situations that could boost or decrease silver prices, because we're also going to go into what can decrease silver prices later on. Each one of these has a different time frame. And I guess if you're the person that invests into precious metals for the long term, then you can really see what I'm talking about. Because The day-to-day prices are irrelevant to someone who's not planning on selling for another 20 years. You get what I'm saying? Those people have it in a much different perspective and point of view on these markets. See, the day-to-day person that's looking at it is usually from a marginal trading or more of a day-to-day trading standpoint, which is highly risky, highly emotional, highly stressful, because you're at the drop of a dime, the whole market could flip and you have to make a decision instantaneously, which is usually not the best, because you need to sometimes it's better to step outside of yourself and look at things realistically. See, that's why I don't invest in the precious metals for the day-to-day side of it. I'll use stocks for that. Yes, I invest in a little bit of stocks. I invest in Amazon, Tesla, Apple, NIO, that new Chinese electric vehicle company. Companies like that. And that could be my more quick flip. I mean, diversification is key, but for the long term, silver is a perfect wealth preservation. It's preserving your wealth against inflation, because whether you like it or not, the dollar is collapsing. Whether who's in office, whether who's president, whether what interest rates do what, the dollar is going to fail regardless. It's already set up. It's set up to fail, whether you like it or not. So what you're going to do about that is either invest in the precious metals and have some alternative, or be SOL. But anyways, that's not the whole point of this video. The whole point of this video is just demonstrating, factors or situations or instances which could affect silver prices. So we've talked about supply and demand. That's more of a timely one. We've talked about geopolitical fear, which is more of an instantaneous one. We've talked about all that. But what about gold? Because this is video specifically about silver, but what about the gold to silver ratio? What does that play into prices? We know that if silver is right now, the ratio at 88 to 1, almost all-time highs again, in that 90 range, which means it takes 88 ounces of silver to equal 1 ounce of gold. That's extremely high, right? That is extremely, extremely high. Which means that silver is knocking on the door saying, hey guys, I'm ready to explode. Saying, hey guys and gals, my time is coming. It's been a long time coming. See, when the ratio is lower, this means that gold is the better buy. But when the ratio is higher, this means silver is the better buy. And ever since FDR changed the ratio from 16 to 1 to 75 to 1 back in the 30s, the ratio has not been recoverable. Ever since that happened, we have basically been in a manipulated bubble in a market. See, now we can go into some other stuff, because I use the word manipulated, which brings me into this bubble situation where these markets could be manipulated. We see JP Morgan, we see Merrill Lynch, the Dutch bank. We see all these people that want to control the markets using their money, their billions of dollars, their billion-dollar corporations to, mix and strew the markets to their will. But when is the price of precious metals going to appreciate naturally, regardless of if someone says that it's a scam, or says that whatever, or tries to do spoofing, placing false buy orders on these exchanges? When is the gold to silver ratio going to naturally start to fluctuate or correct without it having to have some type of backstory, some type of context where someone's changing it or switching it or flipping it or doing this? When can these markets start to naturally rise? Is that even possible? That's a good question. Has gold and silver been too much in this dramatic, this drama category that it can't naturally rise and fall anymore? Does it have to be traded and exchanged? And does it have, you get where I'm going? Because the ratio is 8 to 1. Every 8 ounces of silver comes out of the ground, 1 ounce of gold comes out of the ground. So you would think the price should be around 8 to 1 compared to gold. But it's not. It's 88 to 1, which means there's a lot of manipulating going on, which also means silver has a lot of correcting to do. But is that even possible anymore? Is the natural word, the natural price, is that natural word excluded from investing nowadays? Because back in the day it wasn't. It used to be 2.5 parts silver equals 1 part gold. Then it was 16 to 1. But nowadays, that's not even possible. And by the way, if the ratio is 16 to 1 with gold's price right now, that means silver is still sitting pretty. Do the math. Silver is still sitting extremely pretty. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I hope this jogged your memory. I hope this broke a lot of, or sparked a lot of conversation with yourself and between you guys to really think about this, because silver's price could take off at the drop of a dime from many different instances, lower or higher. And these are the things that I think about when I think about what could really get silver rolling, get the ball rolling. And I hope this was an educational, informational, or just entertaining video for you guys and gals. So anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new, because I do post daily videos. This was Silver Slayer. I'm out. Peace.